I feel like had it not been for Baba Raila Odinga, we would not be talking about compensation of those people who, went through police brutality. Because to me as an individual, I feel like our president is not a forgiving person. Yeah. So he did not have the grace of saying, unajua nimekushoot kwa mguu na nataka kukupatia 5 million. So I feel like the president does not like learned people. I just feel like the president doesn't. The government is doing it intentionally because they don't want to see 10, 30 years from now, another girl like Alionya going on a podcast to speak of the ill of government. So they want to ensure that these people are there in a cocoon of illiteracy.
President William Ruto is literally leading us there. Kuna ugonjwa, kuna umaskini, alafu kuna ujinga.
This is politics. Loyalty is rewarded, in installments. But this loyalty, I can't just be saying TB Mantiala on social media and then it ends there.
Welcome to Politikali Konekted, a podcast on everything politics and governance in Kenya and Africa. Here, we help you guys unpack the complexities between people, policy, and power. I'm your host, Diana Ngao,
aka Madam Speaker, and yours truly, Kidi Mwaga,
aka The Rock.
Today we have the good fortune of having on set one of the most promising young leaders in this country, Madam Roseline Alionya from the great party ODM, has today come on Politikali Konekted. And it is my pleasure to invite Madam Roseline Alionya. Karibu.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to meet brilliant young minds. I know I'm brilliant, but you people are great. You are doing great things for this country. And it is very rare to find podcasts that are giving young people an opportunity to come and share their thoughts. Most media stations and podcasts are hosting people who are already up there. They are forgetting those of us who are down here. So thank you very much for having me. My name is Roseline Alionya, as he has said, the first class honors degree holder.
Hey. Karibu sana. And if anything, I like what you said. That is the whole purpose of Politikali Konekted. We want to democratize these political conversations. They can't just be left up or at the top when the rest of us are also here and part of the political process. So we can't wait to hear all what you have to share with us today. But even before we begin, we always start with one question. When was the first time you became politically aware or awakened that there's this thing called politics, I want to get involved?
Yes.
I would say mine has been a journey. I wouldn't quantify one single event of the Alionya who is here today. But while still in school, the great Machakos University, they have not paid me to advertise for them, but that is the school I did my first degree. And while there, I think in my second year, I contested for the position of ICT and academic affairs, which I failed terribly. I got 2 votes.
What?
2 votes out of the possible 30. My competitor was very much ahead of me, and I appreciate her for winning that election. But nonetheless, in as much as I lost the election, I did not lose the hope of becoming one day becoming a leader in this country. So through that moment when I failed, I think the following year I contested for the school representative of education. I did not become number 1, but I became number 3. But throughout the journey, it was a learning moment, realizing that you don't have to always keep quiet and probably just speak on social media or speak in the campus groups about leadership, about what should be done right. You can still step up yeah, and speak your voice to it so that things change around you, when you are involved. And I think from that, when I felt like political campus politics imenikata, I met, I think Babu Owino at that time was looking for bloggers. That is 2019, sometimes back there. And yes, I went into it to become a blogger for Babu Owino, a great man, thumbs up to you. But I felt like this is not enough. I can't just be saying TB Mantelala on social media and then it ends there. I felt like there's something in me that needs to be ignited, yeah? And I kept on pushing. I really admired what he was doing. I really admired, the oversight. In as much as he is not able to do it correctly because he's in opposition, he has tried all his best. But the most important thing is the things he's doing for the people of Embakasi East. So I admired him. And from then, I got connected to young people in ODM. There was something that was being formed in 2021, a faction under the ODM Women League called Young Captains. Yes. And it is from that faction where they were trying to look for young university women who can come on board and help the then presidential candidate Raila Odinga to find votes from university students. So we were the champions, the founders by then, the founder members by
of
then.
Young Captains.
Of Young Captains, just like ODM as founder members. So we were there trying to tell young people from universities that we can still, don't just say tell a Latibim and go home after you have been tokenized. You can still be there.
Tokenized.
Yes, it happens. People go to rallies and they are paid and they go home. When you're a comrade, ukipata 500 inakusukuma kama wiki moja, wiki mbili, unabai sukuma ya 10 nini. But I felt like it was an opportunity for us first to learn because we were being exposed to young women who have already clinched power and older women who have clinched power. So we were learning from their experiences. And I think it is from that journey that I am who I am today. And I feel like I have not yet arrived there, but I can see hope.
Madam Roseline, you are raising a very pertinent question, issue, that young people are more than sloganeering and one-liners. So tell us, how do you get into ODM out of the almost 100 political parties in Kenya?
Why ODM?
And why ODM? First, tell us how you identified ODM.
First I must welcome all of you to Mombasa on 12th of October so that you can see us celebrating 20 years of existence. You know how difficult it is to raise a child from 1 year to 10 years to 20 years. Yes. I am inviting you. Please accept my invite. Come to Mombasa. Try to interact with the other more young captains of ODM and youth leaders in ODM for you to understand. But the thing that drew me to ODM is the way Baba has been fighting for protection of human rights over the years. I was not there when he was, fighting for independence. I was not yet born, etc., fighting for the freedom of constitution, etc. I wasn't there, but I have read his journey. My parents, the people I've lived around have told me of the success story of Raila Odinga. And during the campus days, I think the most vibrant leaders, they were coming from ODM, So I felt like joining ODM is a way for me to be mentored. Joining ODM is a way for me to speak my mind. Because I will never keep quiet when an injustice is happening, I will always speak about it. So I felt like this is the only party that you have the democratic right to say something is wrong. This is how we can do it correctly. And I felt this is the party, first for mentorship, and secondly for how they have fought for the protection of human rights. I can tell you today, by the way, I don't know, this is my opinion. I feel like had it not been for Baba Raila Odinga, we would not be talking about compensation of those people who, went through police brutality. Because to me as an individual, I feel like our president is not a forgiving person. So he did not have the grace of saying, unajua nimekushoot kwa mguu na nataka kukupatia 5 million. So I feel like it is because of Baba that you're having that kind of
discussion. Roseline tunaweza debate hadi the sunset.
That's why I said it is my own opinion now. So I feel like Baba has not shied away from continuing to stand for human rights, you know, because when you have shot someone
in the legs.
Sunaona pali tunaenda.
you have completely destroyed this person. If it was a young person who was going out to hustle every day, haezi enda tena. If it's someone who was being employed, haezi go employed because they are not productive as they were previously. Yeah. So I feel like this is the only party, and that is why it is still there for 20 years. I don't know which political parties. I think you can tell them that you people come from, so that they don't see that I'm speaking. But this is a party that has been there for 20 years. I don't know how old your party is. I don't know how old your party is. You could tell us.
He's actually from the grand old party.
Well, for the benefit of the viewers, I come from Kenya African National Union. This is a podcast where the hosts are fairly active political operatives. And Madam Speaker will tell us which political party comes from.
For me, my political party is the newly rebranded NAC Kenya. It was formerly known as NAC Kenya, which would be marking its 20 years also this year. It was founded around the same time with ODM. And now we are known as the People's Liberation Party. So we changed our name. But now I want to take you back to what you're saying about Baba, because mi siwezi nyamaza. Mi ni kama Roseline. Siwezi nyamaza. Sasa Roseline, yes. I agree that Baba has fought, as in some of the gains we have in Kenya has been because of some of the blood, sweat and tears of Raila Odinga. Yeah. But then there comes a time where critics are also saying that the constitution of this compensation panel or committee has been done the other way around. It is more of like a placebo, just to show that I know we say that we shoot you in the leg, but we're also trying to compensate you. They identified the families of the people who have actually been met by police brutality, even in the last year. And is it only about this last year, ama we are going back to historical, because police brutality haikuanza na Gen Z protest. Ilikuwa hapo hata during 2020, during COVID. It has been there. It has been part of Kenya's political history.
During IBC Mondays.
Even during IBC Mondays. Oh, tear gas Mondays were NASA.
During the days of Baba while you were away.
Yes.
So
that's why I'm saying, I'm like, I commend the effort, but I feel like wameifanya, they're doing it first before even identifying. If anything, they should have started by gazetting the families of the people who've either lost their lives or been affected by police brutality. Hapo ndio sasa tutasema tick.
What are your views?
I get the concern of Diana, but for the first time, I feel like this compensation panel should be given time. This is the first time that word is coming out of my mouth, I don't like giving people who have been given responsibilities time, because if you have been employed today to teach, you start teaching immediately. Yeah. You don't wait for 3 years for you to teach and tell people that
I see where you're going.
But I heard Gabriel Oguda speak the other day saying that they will come to Kenyans so that Kenyans can also speak on how they would wish to be compensated. In my own view, this compensation panel should not look for views on social media.
Yeah.
The person who is tweeting on social media has not been shot on the leg. The person who is tweeting on social media does not have a bullet in their stomach that is staying there because it can't be removed. Your life will be lost. I feel like these people should go to KNH, where we have victims of brutality. I also feel like there are cases that have been reported by media houses. There are cases that have been reported to these civil societies, like the Amnesty, etc. I think those records need to be given to this compensation panel so that they go through them and they go and consult them. Yeah. Because I hate the idea of, on social media we can really write. Kidi Mwanga, if today we asked you to write about compensation, you'll write a lot. You write articles. You will have a lot to say. But we need to get the concerns and the ideas and the views of the people who have been shot, literally.
The families.
So that after they have taken their views, also the compensation panel sits back and decides, we have people who have been shot, they are still alive. Yeah. We have people who have been shot, they are dead, their children are still alive, probably they are young. We have people who have been shot, yes, they're in good condition, but they still have the trauma.
trauma.
So then they work on the mechanism after listening to those people, because hii mambo ya social media, on Twitter, you want to give your views. You're giving your views as someone who has not been shot. Yes, maybe umekunywa tiagas kidogo, but you don't know how it feels to have the bullet. So I agree with you that they need to now start rolling out things. Listening to the views of these people. If someone was shot, let them tell you how would they want to be compensated. You know, and then there's also gender issues in the same matter. We have men, we have women. You are not going to compensate these people the same way. So I think those dynamics need to be looked into, but first they need to consult those people, not us.
At least we agree. You see, we can be from different parties
and we
still converge on issues. Yes.
In the course of the conversation, Madam Speaker will take you through something called cross-party collaboration. But before we get to the gear of cross-party collaboration, tell us a little more about Young Captains as a tool of mobilizing young women in ODM and how effective it has been in helping expand the democratic space and civic engagement.
Especially for youth and young women.
Yes. So as I said earlier, I joined Young Captains in 2021. And throughout that period, I think it's 4 or 5 years, I have been trained. I have been taken to rallies. I have known how it feels to mobilize people. I have known how to go to a rally where your opponent has mobilized your own people, you know, to speak ill against you. So I've had those experiences. And I feel like Young Captain as a faction under ODM Women League is a tool of bringing on board young women that are not going to go through the hostility that comes with women engaging in politics. Imagine if Young Captains was not there. It would be difficult for a young woman in university to join a political party. This is because in ODM, for example, we have the Women League, and then we have the Youth League, then we have the mainstream. The mainstream, it is difficult for you to join. The Youth League, it might be easier because you are a young person, but it is more difficult for you because you are young and you are a woman. You know, there it is survival for the fittest. And you know, for us ladies, we don't have the muscles to brush shoulders with people like Akina Kidi Mwanga to get spaces. And then we have the ODM Women League. Mostly it is made up of older women in most political parties, and my party.
That's true. That's very true.
So you find a young woman, maybe aged between 18 and 35 or even 30, getting a space in ODM as a women league, it might be difficult. And that's why these people decided to start a faction of Young Captains to bring on board young women, especially from universities. Because once you get these women from universities, getting other young women from TVETs, from colleges becomes easier, you know, because they will find a sisterhood. So I feel like we have achieved much in terms of mentorship, in terms of training. Because if you see me here speaking today with this English kidogo nimepata from the university, and also the wisdom that I carry, I don't know if I'm wise, but I'm trying. It is because I have been trained. I have been in the political system and seen what the challenges that women are facing. I have seen the challenges that men are facing. I have seen some of the techniques that women like Millie Mabona, like Crystal Lasige have had to go through to be in the positions they are in. So I feel like that's why ODM is celebrating 20 years of existence. You know, I don't know if your political parties have these techniques of finding women and attracting them to the party. Because it feels like home. Nikikuwa nimelemewa, there's someone I can call in Young Captains. Nikiwa nimelemewa, the ODM Women League chair, Madam Betsy, nitampigia nimwambie mimi ni msichana wako nimelemewa hapa, and she will come through.
I really like that. And I remember now, I read Millie's book, Millie Odhiambo's book, Rig or Be Rigged. And when it came to the part of women in political parties and some of the challenges included also some gender stereotypes and also, of course, some sexualization here and there. And I've faced it also in my political journey. I'm sure you have. Have you faced anything like, sasa ukisimama karibu na kidi wanaanza kusema, ai, ama huu ni msichana wa kidi?
I have faced it. You know, earlier I said I joined politics as a blogger of Babu Wino. So anytime you post Babu Wino, people are like, Weni mrembo wake. And you know, sometimes you tell them, angalia hata bibi Babu Owino ni light skin, I'm a dark skin, but I am not the type of Babu Owino. But you know, they still can't believe.
Yeah.
The other day I was on TV with Sifuna. You know, the first thing that clicks in people, Sifuna ameleta mrembo wake. They cannot see the journey that you
Of
have
this
carried,
person.
you know, to that level. But it is because, you know, I can't blame them. It is because probably they're seeing you for the first time.
Yeah.
They have not walked with you the journey to know that, hey, Alionya started from somewhere, and that is why she's somewhere. So sexualizing women, it is still happening. That today, if you see me promoted, even in the corporate space, you see a woman promoted, people have to ask, who has she slept with?
Yeah.
You see, even, sorry to say, let me quote this lady called Gloria Oroba. When she was kicked out of the Senate, she went on board to tell people that, you know, in that Senate, in that Nini, if you can't undress, things can't, you know, things can't move,
Oh, actually, I remember she said
now,
that.
You will see this kind of shenanigans in terms of sex in exchange for trips, sexual favors in exchange for legislative agenda, sexual favors in exchange for all sorts of things, including office premises and locations. That is what I've been saying. Not one single entity has investigated this.
It begs the question of, me, I come from ODM. It is not that like I'm campaigning for my people. If you look at the impact of Crystal Asige in Parliament, in Senate, when she's debating,
She's a brilliant
you ask
mind.
yourself, did she have to sleep with someone to bring that proposition on the floor of the House? So the sexualizing of women, it is still there. Unfortunately, it is used on women to bring them down, to stop them from contesting. But
100%.
I'm calling on my fellow young people. If today someone accused me of sleeping with Kidi Mwaga for me to be here, and it is not true, I don't care.
You know,
it doesn't.
I like that attitude, because also Millie is the one who freed me when I had her story. She was saying that there was a time when they were in Parliament, her first Parliament, there was rumors that she was either dating, was it William Ruto or someone in ODM. And what she used to do is, because she realized also the media was looking for this gossip, she used to make sure in Parliament ameketi karibu na yeye, so that you guys talk, endeleni kuongea, you know. And you know, and to her she's like, as in, it doesn't bother me, you talk what you want, me, I have a husband and he's supportive of me. However you say I climbed or I got here is your problem, it is not mine.
Exactly.
I like that.
And I think jealousy is another big problem that is making people to, you know, if I feel like I can't bring Alionya down because, yes, she's smart, she's confident, she's etc., people look at sexualizing it so that it gets into you. You know, sexualizing someone, it makes someone very emotional. But I want to tell my fellow young people and the older society, if you find yourself feeling jealous of someone like Kidi Mwaga, it is not Kidi Mwaga who is the problem. It is you. You actually hate yourself for the opportunity that you did not get to be like Kidi Mwaga. It is just the truth of the matter. So anytime you find yourself feeling jealous of someone, tell yourself, when I feel jealous about Alionya, it means I hate myself for the opportunity I did not get to be like Alionya. And that way you'll start trying to appreciate people around you and appreciate the success, the steps they are making. Because Dana, if I worked so hard today to bring you down, I'll be utilizing a lot of time to bring you down and very minimal time to even
build yourself.
So I think we need to move away from that. And another challenge to the question that you asked, the challenge of finances. Most young people in politics do not achieve much because of, you know, politics has been monetized. So if I came today here and I live here without pandering mainganya hapo nje, without having my own car, people are like, Alionya, unatuambia tukuje ODM lakini hata wewe unaka kitu.
So kuna mindset.
So it becomes so unajua me I thank God for the confidence that God gave me, but me I don't care what you say about me. Even if I live here and I panda a motorcycle, provided I can afford that motorcycle and I feel confident and very, you know, with that motorcycle, me I'm okay. But for other young people don't have the same confidence, people don't have the same mindset. So mtu anatoka rally, maybe ameongea vizuri, kizungu mzuri, amepeana manifesto nini alafu mtoke hapo mwanza kumwambia, hey bro, hata chwani ya huku kwa nayo nayo. It gets into that person and probably
it pulls them down.
The hope that they had for what they were doing ends there.
Yeah.
So I feel like those two are affecting women mostly, among other barriers.
I think even that thing for how politics has been monetized, I'm seeing it as a barrier.
Yes.
It's been put there purposely just to ensure that more young, vibrant people are locked out of it, and the more us young people have these discussions about these barriers, the more even those people when they wanauliza katoken, they realize mwenye anakurepresent si master kue mwenye akona pesa. Alionya venye anaongea sasa, we are about to ask you, wapi unasimama wapi?
So that we deploy the machinery of Politikali Konekted.
I will be contesting, by the way. I'll be contesting.
Tell us about that.
I don't know if I should say it because unaweza sema nitoke hapa nipate mmeniekea opponent kutoka KANU, nitoke opponent kutoka PLP. Yes. So I think I'm still consulting, but
we are here in the spirit of cross-party collaboration.
And I like that. In fact, let me speak to the issue of cross-party. The other day I was telling my fellow youths... Interparty. I was telling my fellow youths that we need to join political parties, And I understand the feeling of Gen Zs when they see ODM or hapana. Me understand them. So I was telling them, basi usingie ODM. Ingia party yenye na ukiona party kubambi, basi form party yako. Because if you look at the reason why we lost the Gen Z movement last year is because we went to the streets for a political agenda, but we were not in political parties. And political discussions come to political parties. If today the united oppositions, they are sitting on tables as political party heads. Someone is coming from DCP, another one from DAPK, and they are discussing issues that they are going to run with it for the next 2 years. So if you are not in the picture, we don't need to make the same mistake. So I was telling young people, you see, even this DCP, si ni chama mzuri sana. Tukiachilia, I can tell you for a fact, and people from Central will bear me witness. Tukaiachilia hiyo iende na hiyo narrative inaenda. Na young people wasijoin huko. I can tell you, a very bad leader will jump from UDA and DCP and still win votes because it is the wave. So me, I'm calling to the young people, 14 million of us. Imagine sisi 14 million tukiingia ODM, KANU, PLP, sisi wote. Na ikifika mata ya unemployment, we close our eyes and we say, hey, we are young people. Si ati ni mambo ya ODM ama ni ya PLP. Wewe youth league ya KANU inaongea, youth league ya ODM inaongea, youth league ya PLP ya DCP tunaamua, we want this and this done, whether you are in opposition or you are in government. I think we will achieve a lot if all of us are within political parties and not to be there as yes sir individuals. Because even me, for my party, I really love it. Unapata Sifuna anaongea language yake, unapata kina Junet anaongea language yao, and you are able to pick as an individual. Because they are able to speak at liberty because of the democracy that is within the party.
Have you ever seen, especially apart from the Gen Z protests, because I feel like for most of us who are in political parties who engaged in the protest did not go in the banner of our political parties. It was individually as a youth. But now that we saw all that collaboration among youth across every diversity, have you seen in the recent past any sort of collaboration or any issue that you think all our youth leagues should come together and really discuss or push an agenda for? Have you experienced that? Ama there's still room for that cross-party collaboration?
I think we are in that moment. It's just that we have not accepted. Kitu na to affect sisi kama young people of this country is but it is jealousy. If today Kidi Mwaga said we want to push a narrative against this, CBC is here. The government has tried to employ it, but to me I look at it as the government has quantified the matter rather than qualified quality.
The quality of the teacher.
Sasa tunafaa kuwa tunapiga kelele about CBC. Tunafaa kuwa tunapiga kelele mingi sana about CBC because your child, my child, I'm not yet I don't have a child yet, but in the event that I have a child, they are going to go through the CBC. So what kind of education do we want them to get now.
Yeah.
But for us, we got the free education of Kibaki.
Kibaki,
That's why we are this, people call us
Articulate.
radicalized, but that's why we have first class honors. But kama kuna kitu tunafaa kuongelelea, by the way, ni CBC, because it is something that people have given a side eye. So the president invite teachers at State House, but it will come a time we'll discuss things issue based, and the president will not believe, because calling them there are not addressing the 24,000 that have been employed on internship this year. Na hawaambiwi watakuwa permanent and pensionable lini. And then they are employing another 24. I think they have started recruiting. You see, when the ones that are being employed this December or rather January, they'll be in internship for 1 year.
Yeah.
Na hiyo 1 year unajua tumeanza campaign.
Yeah.
2027, these teachers are having a high likelihood of not being employed on permanent and pensionable. Yeah? So we are not looking at that. I feel like we have closed our eyes. But if today I came and say, I want all young people in political parties, mkuje tuongee mambo ya CBC, mtasema, wewe Alionya wewe.
Tunakuona na
Unalipwa ukuje tuongelee. So I think if we can put the mindset of political parties nyuma, na tukuje, kama ni CBC to agree, we need to discuss about it. Kama ni the new funding model, people are keeping quiet, but inawafinya vibaya sana. The issue of SHA.
Yes.
Inafinya Kenyans vibaya sana, but I feel like sijui ni nini inafanya watu wanyamaze kidogo, ama ni kuongeza.
From your experience, would you say SHA is working?
It is not working because I've not subscribed. Hivi unaniona me, if I fall sick today, pastor wangu asiponiombea nipone, that is the end of me, to be honest. Let me tell you the reason why Kenyans are not even feeling like SHA is not working. For the 20 years I've been alive, I've seen Kenyans are the most hardworking and generous people. Kidibonga leo tukisikia umefungiwa nyumba tutakuchangia hata 5 million without blinking. So Kenyans do not have the problems of failing to contribute, and that is what the government is not getting. If SHA can just allow the system to work such that hospitali ziko na madawa, madaktari wako hapo full time, you don't go there and then you are referred to another kiosk outside for you to go and buy the medicine that has already been paid for by the government. To be honest, government ikinitisha hata 12k kama niko nayo nitatoa, because I'm like, tomorrow my child akiwa hospitalini atakuwa able kupata medication. Tomorrow my parent, in case they are above 60 years, they are in the retirement period and they are sick, this SHA unit of mine will be able to cater for them. But Kenyans can't see it working, and that's why they cannot contribute to it.
Yeah. I think also we've seen a lot of, there was a time that Afya House, where the Ministry of Health was called Mafia House. Yes. Because people have seen so much corruption go there. Your story umeongea that umeenda kwa facility, there's a chemist, a pharmacy there, lakini you're being sent to the other pharmacy because that's where wanakulia from. I think Kenyans we've gotten so accustomed to seeing such injustices and corruption that sasa aliona akisimama hapa akisema SHA is working na kona so niwe unakula. I'm just saying that's how we are thinking. And I kind of agree with you in terms of even the small section or the small part or the small instances where SHA is working, the large majority of Kenyans cannot see the goodwill from the government to ensure that indeed this basic need is being met. Sindio? But now how do we come together as youth league? Sasa tunaongea hapa because these are issues that affect all of us. Ukiongea juu ya education, hata kama mimi nimemaliza, I have children who are going through this system. You have siblings. Most of us are also supporting our younger siblings. When it comes to furthering our studies. Actually, let me even start there. My question is, now that umemaliza na first class honors, unaona aje hii story ya university funding, hii structure?
Yani hata nikiongelea zile shida ambazo sisi first class honors tunapitia, naweza toa machozi. Actually, let me tell you, I think this country, it is just the issues of systems not working. To be honest, I should not graduate with the first class honors, alafu nikwe bado na tamak hivi venye na tamak.
That's true.
I should any graduate with the first class honors in medicine, in engineering, in education like me, I feel like we need to be absorbed in the ministries of these countries as fast as possible. Yeah, because most first class owners, when you're privileged, they go outside to further their studies. And then that smart labor remains there.
Yeah.
And then we don't get to tap into the innovativeness and the creativeness they would have offered to our country. Yeah. So it is the matter of the government realizing that you need to create an avenue for your graduates. You know, there's this issue of unemployment. People say you have a degree, you cannot be employed. Let me tell you, my people, if today lecturers were being paid right, do you know they will teach us the skills that they don't teach us? If a lecturer was just being paid very well, that medical lecturer, they would teach us very well to ensure that you have the skills needed to be a doctor. But because they are not being paid very well, probably they are being paid 20% of what they should be paid, they come to class and teach us 20%. You get? And so the cycle of lacking the skills and the knowledge continues. And then you leave school, you go outside, the government has not created an opportunity for you to be employed. To make it worse, the government has made the environment so hard for you to even create your own employment. Yeah. So I feel like if the government only paid teachers very well, and me issue ya CBC inanisumbua sana. Walimu wa CBC ungekuwa lipwa vizuri, that CBC would have worked.
Let me ask you, because we are beneficiaries of the free primary education of Mwai Kibaki, do you think this is a systemic agenda to kind of manage the bulk of the youth bulge that's happening, that maybe we don't want too many educated people, so we reduce our education, or rather the investment in education, so that we don't have such, because most people have attested the Gen Z, let me say wokeness, wacha nitumie hiyo jina, is attributed to the high levels of literacy that have come with this generation, that have come of age. Do you think that it's systemic, ama it's just they are not thinking about it even?
I feel like it is systemic and they're doing it intentionally. Because I feel like teachers under Kibaki's time, as much as they were not being paid a lot of money, the economy was good for them. Because I don't know if you come from teaching families or you have a teacher who is a relative.
Yeah,
these people were earning little, but they could pay for your school fees, like 5 of you. They should ensure you have nice clothes, etc. But now in this current government, the salary is small and the economic times are very hard. This is a teacher who is going to class not to deliver. They will not teach you the history of World War vizuri. Because ako class for 40 minutes na anafikiria biashara yake hapo nje yenye inamsaidia kutop up, you know? And I feel like the president does not like learned people. I just feel like the president doesn't like
but he has the right honorable Raila Odinga by his side. Ama hiyo ni for political reasons.
No, but if I asked you today, which executive role does Raila have that he can make executive orders? None. Well, you see you are breathing.
Lakini tunamwonanga hapo kama co-president.
He's not he's probably just helping his brother to calm the country down, but I feel like the president has not valued the issue of education so much. Angekuwa na value, ensure that, we are going to grade 10 next year. Have you seen any update in secondary schools to show that, we are preparing for the readiness?
After the teachers were complaining, you were grade 9 this year, they were like, curriculum ilitoka in February, when the children are already in school.
Let me tell you, the teachers right now in secondary schools, they may attend these vitu zinaitwa retooling. So you are like in a sub county, you are like let's say 200 teachers, for example. So they pick one teacher, probably let's say a Kiswahili and CRE teacher, and then he goes and gets retooled. And then this CRE and history teacher is now coming to teach you. Wewe umefanya biology, agriculture, wewe umefanya maths, business. Sasa yeye amefunza vitu zake za history, CRE. Honestly, how will they impact you? The government is calling it retooling. You get? Yes. So it already shows that the government is not even ready for grade 10. To be honest, because I was thinking they would call biology teachers and tell them the curriculum has changed in this matter. This is what you're teaching. This is what has been taught from grade 6, or is it grade 6, from grade 7 to grade 9. This is where you need to start. This is how you need to. But it is being done like haphazardly. And then things are not being explained very well. Mtu umemtrain, anakuja kutrain watu wengine. Probably they're using these slides when wanaweza kutumia slides. You are teaching some teachers who have never interacted with a slide. These teachers are going to these places na wana sleep the whole time just for their allowance.
Yeah.
And
just to show that nimeingia class.
To avoid being served with show cause letters. You get? So I feel like the government is doing it intentionally because they don't want to see 10, 30 years from now, another girl like Alionya going on a podcast to speak of the ill of government. So they want to ensure that these people are there in a cocoon of illiteracy, but they have gone to school.
Yeah, yes. I feel I like what you're saying because I also have the same view in terms of like actually it's Raila Odinga who says, is it Raila who says that there are three enemies of the people, ni nakwanga ugonjwa, umaskini na ujinga.
Inaitwa ujinga wa kutojua.
Ignorance. And I feel like this current regime under President William Ruto is literally leading us there. Kuna ugonjwa, kuna umaskini, alafu kuna ujinga.
Kutojua.
Si ya kutojua, but I think
as we come to the end of this podcast, Roseline Alionya, first class graduate, first class honors graduate. There is an emerging global trend. In Nepal, for instance, we have seen a lot of chaos, particularly the destruction that followed. How can we learn this in Kenya and rechannel our anger within the mainstream processes and make sure that our voices count as we get into 2027 elections?
Brilliant. Sometimes I open my social media and I'm like, I thought I am vocal, I thought I'm radicalized. But you look at a high school individual in Nepal, the way they are speaking to power. And you're like, anyway, Journey, I'm not alone. One day we'll make it. But I feel like for us as a country, where we started, it was a pivotal point. And politicians should not look at it as if we have calmed down. Actually, the Gen Zs of these countries are a ticking time bomb. Like tunakaa hivi tunaona yenyewe president ameita watu akawapatia 10,000 from Nakuru. Ameita wa teachers akawapatia 10,000. We are like, okay, continue. Unaamka kesho unasikia sijui the government has used how much to printing papers. You saw that. You are like, okay, continue.
Endeleeni.
What we are doing, we are piling that anger. Kidi Mwaga, in 2027, yes. If we don't take care as a country, we will go the Nepal way, especially if politicians decide to rig elections.
Yes.
Let us just go into that election and realize that politician A did his campaign very well, voters voted for him and he won. But if we go to any election and then politician A wins, but politician B is announced, I can tell you, you see what you have seen in Nepal, it will be a joke. I am not lying to you. So politicians should not look at us as if we have come down. Tunapile hasira. Yani unaamka hivi, unasikia, president amepeana motorbikes. Alafu unaamka the other day, unasikia mtu anasema, niliitwa, nikapigwa picha na motorbike na sikupewa. Unajiambia sawa. Wacha tu.
Mchezo wa town.
So I think my fellow young people should know that we can still achieve what other countries have achieved without destroying our own country.
Wonderful.
Sisi imebakia tu 2027 na si mbali. Mimi niko ODM, wewe uko KANU. What we want,
the biggest party south of Sahara.
We wacha.
We need other youths in DAPK, we need other youths in DCP. To be honest, in 2027 we will be giving political parties direction because we'll be telling them this is what we want in your manifesto. You are not putting it there, we are leaving. They will have to adjust.
And we are creating our own table.
Exactly. Yeah. So politicians should learn how to live without. Ile corruption umeiba kidogo tangu uelektiwe in 2022 up to now imetosha. Please, the remaining 2 years, just do your work. Because if you continue to loot, to be honest, we are not going to the streets again for you to shoot us in the leg. But we are piling that anger. We are piling it. And we'll unleash it in 2027.
I like that as much as things seem to have settled, that we are also watching, tuko macho, and we are seeing some of these things that I mean, these were even the basis of even the Gen Z protest. Hata hiyo Gen Z protest haikuanza tu June. There were some precursors that have that they need. And I like what you're saying in terms of like it is us, the youth, who will dictate the agenda of 2027. But for us to dictate that agenda, we must be in political parties.
And another thing, I need to tell young people, politics is politics. Usidhania utakuja ODM 2026 ikiisha hapo, alafu mali mimi navai kama Alionya, pia wewe unataka kuvai, unataka kupatia tiketi. Tunajidanganya. If you want to join a political party, please do your survey sahi. Angalia political parties zote, angalia yenye una identify nayo, join it as early as now. Help them to mobilize, help them to market themselves, help them to even reason on how to get the young voters.
Yeah.
Because if you join a political party, zuko mwisho na udhania watakusupport, I'm sorry, this is politics. Loyalty is rewarded. Yeah, in installments. But loyalty is punished immediately. So please join political parties. When you umesema ni important sana. But Kenyans, wale wenye join, please to join sahi. It is a bit early. Yes. Na wale wenye unaona nyo you can't join any, just form your political party.
Madam Speaker.
There you have it from Roseline Alionya. I mean, we've learned so much about her journey, and she's a young, vibrant female voice in this political landscape that you've heard first here at Politikali Konekted, and I'm sure it will not be the last time. Now, if you're a youth leader in a political party, umesikia kwanza sasa, Alionya has challenged you guys that we must collaborate and push the agenda of better payment of teachers and CBC program, as well as even the education system. We can't just keep quiet when our fellow youth and our fellow siblings are going through a broken system, yet sisi tuli profit na hii free education ya Mwai Kibaki. So over to the inter-parties chairman or convener, who's also the host here at Politikali Konekted, Mr. Kidi Mwaga, convene the youth leagues in your issue.
Well, after the Sabasaba 7th level of brutality, remember that we lost 41 people. The young people came together and said that we must change tactics. The young people, in their wisdom, asked Inter-Parties Youth Forum to engage in a shuttle diplomacy between different actors. So there is the youth serving organizations within the civil society, student organizations, and young people in political parties. It is a responsibility that Inter-Parties has discharged with diligence. Today, as we speak, we have set up Manifesto Yetu Coalition, bringing together young people from all those three sectors: political parties, youth-serving organizations within the civil society, and institutions of higher learning. Reach out to Manifesto Yetu so that we collaborate better and make sure we agenda set for 2027. Thank you.
And there you have it on Politikali Konekted. Before you go anywhere, you must follow Roseline Alionya on all her social media platforms. We'll make sure we link them on the show note. And even after you do that, please, it costs you nothing. Hakuna token kusubscribe hapa. Just hit the subscribe button so that you'll never miss an episode and you always remain connected. Yes. So see you next time on a screen near you.
Thank you. Niliwaambia kwamba wewe na Madam Speaker mko na punchline mbaya mbaya.
Ndio nimerealize kama jana kama mpole.